Hello, everybody. My name is Nkosi, and this is the Two Sides of a Coin podcast. Also on the podcast is my host, John. You want to say hi, John?
Hey everybody, happy Saturdays.
All right. So I hope everybody's having a good week so far. What we're going to talk about today is John's going to talk about some food as usual, and we're also going to get into one of the latest Disney Plus movies, Disenchanted. The 15 years, which, if you hear that and you feel old, you're not the only one. The 15-year sequel from the previous cult classic, Enchanted. So, John, enchant us with your food today.
So today I enchant you with the Canucks Canadian Bar. Now, the Canucks Canadian Bar is a bar that was introduced to me by a regular customer that comes to the bar I work at. And he told me, after I pretty much saved him from getting his butt whooped because he was in a heated argument, looked like it could have got physical. And he was like, You have to. You have to check out this bar called the Canucks. It is very amazing. And I was like, you know what? I'll check it out. So last week, Thursday, I set out to the Canucks. And I gotta say, it was lit. I mean, it's a Canadian bar. They have a Canadian Wall of Fame, all Canadian actors. And certain people who I assumed were American actors were also Canadian actors. And I was like, wow, I I kind of didn't know that. I mean, I'm not a fan of some of the actors that were on the wall, but I was wowed. I mean, from once you enter the room, if once you enter the bar, it feels like walking into the Cheers bar over in Boston. You feel that nostalgia, and you just feel the whole wholesomeness of the bar. Everyone's friendly. Everyone that goes there is all from the local area. It is a bar well loved by the people in the community on the west side. And when I say well loved, I mean well loved. Like I saw a situation perspire in there, and it went from it looked like it was going to go critical. Like this dude was about to um put himself in a situation where the bar had to call the cops, and it didn't even go there. It didn't even escalate to that. Like it just from the beginning, you felt like something was about to happen. Nothing happened. Just nothing happened. It was. I was like, wow. So I've actually found a bar where I could possibly come across a very overly drunken spirit and then not have to deal with them. I was like, yep, this is my spot. I will definitely be here for my Thursday night football, which I have attended and watched there. And I mean, from everything about it, it's just really, it had me in wow because I usually go out to bars for just like, you know, to check out the decorum and be like, oh, is this a good place so I could check out and have some fun? And man, this bar takes the cake. I mean, they have this thing called the slap shot. It's where they take they have like a hockey stick, right? And there's shot glasses, like I guess like locked in onto the hockey stick, and then everybody lines up according to each shot glass on the stick, and then it's at once we take the shot. And I'm telling you, I did like about 4 or 5 of those with some of the local regular customers that come there. And man, I had a good time. I didn't embarrass myself though. I did not embarrass myself. I was on my best behavior. I even got to meet the owner there, He's real cool. He's real cool. Real cool guy, very chill, very laid back, and I mean, he introduced me to a lot of the dishes that they actually have from Canada. One per se is the poutine. Now the poutine I immediately thought was disco fries. I immediately thought the poutine was disco fries. He's like, no, this is poutine. What it is regular, like kind of like steak cut fries. You get like a basket of kind of like steak cut fries, and it's topped with cheese and gravy. And when I say, if you just, they have an option where you can also get turkey or bacon. I suggest getting the bacon, but if you're not a fan of the bacon, then you're still doing good by just having it regular because it is just awesomely good. I mean, literally good. I was like, oh my god. I mean, it's not that the gravy over overwhelms the cheese or anything, but it's just like perfectly well set. Not too much gravy, not too cheesy, just right, and it like that gravy like absorbs into the fries, and it's so well complemented. Nothing over, like nothing really to over exaggerate about this dish because it's just that well made. And everything else, they have the wings. The hot wings. The hot wings is a good combination if you get the poutine with the bacon. But they have also, you can get a small poutine with the bar's signature burger. And I'm telling you, those two combo combined, it is like it's you're gonna get a little messy. You're gonna get a little messy. You're gonna get a little messy, but not too much because it's so good. I mean, I went in there. I didn't even spend too much. Only the most I spent in that bar was like, because I ordered the poutine and the wings. I only spent like $40, honestly, and that was including my alcohol, being that I was there when they were doing a promo. And I'm telling you, it definitely got to check out the Canuck. You know, and they have a very witty staff. Like some of the bartenders are very funny. I was told not to mention any names after I asked if I can mention, the hilariousness of some staff members. I was asked not to mention, but definitely feel free to go check it out. The Canuck is located 202 E 202 West Ninth Avenue. 202 West Ninth Avenue. Trust me, you're gonna have a good time. It's a good place to hang out, and have a good time with friends. If you got friends who are coming from Canada, it's definitely a good place to take them. Not just because they're Canadian, but literally the environment alone is just it's worth the journey, depending where in the city you're coming from. You know, totally worth the journey, and I totally suggest that you try the poutine. It's really good, and trust me, you're gonna like it. You're really gonna like it. But if you're not a fan of gravy and stuff, like gravy and cheese and stuff, then definitely just go for the wings or the burger, which is also really good. And that is all I have to say for the Canuck.
All right. Well, thanks, John. So I guess we're going to get to our review of the movie Disenchanted. So, Disenchanted, this was a movie that we actually talked about during our D23 wrap up. And I know that we were both interested in it because we both saw the original Enchanted, right?
Yes, we did.
And we both liked the original Enchanted.
Oh yeah.
I thought it was a good take on, the tropes of these fairy tales, put them in a modern world. I mean, I watched the original Enchanted a little bit earlier this week, and those jokes still land. Like when they do the musical scene about how does he know that you love her, and Patrick Dempsey is like, "Does everybody know this song? Is this popular?"
Yeah,
Like that still lands, right?
it does. It still lands, man.
You know, and
It still lands.
funny enough, when I look back on it, I was like, "Wow, who would have thought that Adina Menzel would, even though she's in the movie, even though she's a named character and she's kind of like a side character, who would have thought she'd be one of the bigger stars from that movie?" Because
Mhm.
even though she was famous from Broadway, this was before Frozen, so she
Yeah,
wasn't Adina Menzel. You know what I mean?
I totally do, and I agree.
So I think we were all looking at it and we were all like, "Oh, this we're all looking forward to Disenchanted." I mean, and when I saw it, I was like, 15 years?
Yeah, that's just like shocking, man.
Yeah, but it has actually been around 15 years. I mean, Enchanted came out in what, 2007. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're old.
Please, please, please. I mean, I wouldn't say we're old. I'd say we're slowly aging.
Yeah, I'm going to say we're old, and I'm just going to keep it at that,
Okay.
you know. And I think when I was looking at this movie, I was really hoping for something really good, but I think if I had to give this movie, like, quick number review, John, just to before we get into it real deep. If I
Okay.
had to look at this movie, I would have given this movie a solid 5 out of 10. It was completely middle of the road for me. And I think you enjoyed it a little bit more than I did. Or did you enjoy it
I
less?
I actually joined it a little bit more. I mean, when I saw the previews, I was just like, yeah, okay, this is gonna be
All right, like 1 out of 10.
a
How did you
little
think?
bit. I'd say 5.9.
You did not enjoy it that much more than I did. I thought you were like a little bit more, not a
A
microscopic
point
amount
nine,
more.
man. A point nine. A point
Almost a
nine.
6.
A point nine.
Almost a 6. Okay,
Yes,
okay.
almost a six.
Oh,
Almost a six. I'm saying 5.9.
okay.
I
So
mean, I do have one thing I wanted to critique. I wanted
go
to say
go ahead. Go
maybe
ahead. Go
if
ahead.
they had thrown it in, it would have definitely made a six. Would have definitely made a six. You know,
All right, and what's that?
like okay, okay. I apologize to anyone who hasn't seen the movie and who may be listening to this podcast. I am going to hit you with a spoiler because I am this time feeling proud to spoil.
What? Okay, I guess. I mean, it is on Disney Plus, but all right.
Yeah. So the scene where she walks into the Evil Queen's bar, like cafe,
Uh-huh.
and they go back and forth into the singing monologues and stuff.
Yeah.
I would have tweaked that a little bit better. I would have actually had them going like when she came in, instead of doing like going directly into the whole monologue like they kind of did, I would have been like, let's see some magic, you know? I'm gonna transform me into the evil stepmother. I know she got the little evil stepmother magic here and there. I was expecting that. I was expecting some back and forth, and then instead it just happened all the way like around the end when she got the staff, and I'm like, nah, they should have did a little earlier. Should have been with the magic fighting a little bit earlier. That's what I would critique about with just with that scene and another scene
Well,
where
well, John, I think we
oh
should.
yes,
All right. All right, go on, go on.
No. That's about it. No, we'll just leave it at
All
that.
right. So let me go into why I didn't really like this movie because you just like to jump around to spots instead of giving a review. Let me tell the
Okay.
people why I didn't really like this movie. So, you know, as we said before, the sequel takes place 15 years from the movie Enchanted, right? It still
Right.
has the two main leads in Amy Adams and Patrick Dempsey. James
Right.
Marsden and Idina Menzel come back, right?
Right.
Then, Amy Adams, she's got a daughter. You know, we also see Patrick Dempsey's child Morgan come back, even though it's not the same actor. It's not the same
No.
actress. Um,
I
you
think
know,
they should have went with the same. I would have liked if they had kept it with the same actress.
well, I don't know if she had the singing voice of this one, Gabriella uh, Baldacchino, and I
Mm.
think I probably massacred her last name. I apologize for that. But I don't think she had the singing voice of them because everybody's using their own voice in this movie. I think, yes. I think they are all using their own voice.
Yeah. Yeah, they
And
are.
and in this movie, Amy Adams and Patrick Dempsey, their characters are kind of falling into a little bit of a rut. So they decide to move to a new place, to Monroeville. Was it Monroeville or Moorland?
No, Moorville. Moorville.
No,
Yes.
it's yeah, it's no, it's
It's
Monroeville.
you sure it's Monroe and not Moorville?
All right,
Make it.
we'll we'll split it and just say it's Monroeville. What? Okay, that the town name doesn't really matter, even though they say it a couple times.
Yeah.
That's You're gonna forget it. Anyways, they move into this new place, and Morgan's character is now a teenager, so she does not respond to necessarily the same things.
Always throwing
Uh,
sarcasm.
I mean, she's not throwing so much sarcasm. Like, I felt bad for her in this movie because I could tell there are genuine scenes where she is actually trying, and it just seems like Amy Adams' character is not picking up on the hints, you know?
Definitely not.
Like in the movie, and so this is going to be a spoiler review. We're fine. So in the movie, at one point, like, they make a room for Morgan, right? And Morgan's looks happy. Then they flip on a light switch and they end up burning Morgan's clothes. And I'm like,
Yup.
yeah, she's gonna be mad.
Yeah.
She's gonna be real mad.
Oh, she's
That's
gonna be
fine.
tight.
I'm I'm perfectly okay with that. Like, instead of doing the thing where it's just like, just take something from my closet, where if it were you or me in that situation, we would have said, okay, we're immediately going to go and get you a couple clothes. We're going to drive somewhere, get you some clothes, instead of having you take from my closet.
Yeah.
Just smooth it over a little bit because you did burn her clothes. Just smooth it
Yep.
over. you know. But that's small
Well, it was
nitpicks.
kind of more like a little freak accident, man.
Just because it was a freak, you're telling me if you had a freak accident where you burned somebody's clothes, your first thought isn't, oh, just take something from mine, and not, hey, let's replace it.
If they could fit.
Yeah. Stop trying to give this movie any slack, okay? It doesn't deserve it.
Aha!
I'm not, no. If somebody had broken your laptop, your first thing wouldn't be, hey,
Oh yeah,
borrow
yeah, yeah.
mine. It
You're
would be,
replacing it.
buy me a new laptop.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
the same thing with clothes. She could have bought her some emergency clothes, like bought her outfits for the week, and then said, hey, we're going to go later on and do some more shopping and all that stuff. That would have been fine,
right.
right? But
Mm-hmm.
and also there was a scene in there where Amy Adams is like trying to get Morgan involved with, the town. So Morgan is like, listen, let me do this on my own. And Amy Adams' character is like, nope, I'm going to volunteer you for princess of the town. And I was just like, oh God, you just you fully did not pay attention to what she said. And she said it to you in the
No,
most straightforward way possible.
that's true.
I was like, when she gets angry at you at this, that is completely justified.
And then she goes with the whole stepmother.
I mean, yes, that was painful, that was hurtful, but you knew that was coming when she was just so ticked off after everything that happened in the movie. It didn't come out of nowhere, is what I'm saying.
Nah.
So you understood exactly why that happened, right?
Yeah.
So early in the movie, Giselle got a wishing wand from James Marsden
Mm-hmm.
and Idina Menzel's characters, Edward and Nancy. So she gets a wishing wand where she could wish for things. So
Yep.
after all that thing happened, after she was called the stepmother, all that stuff, she wishes to make the world into a fairy tale. And as you
Mm-hmm.
know, that wish was not the right one. And
Nope.
just things spiral out of control from there. So I'm
Oh,
going to tell you my first big problem I have with this movie. And this might seem like a nitpick, but this is actually a problem in my mind. This movie had too much singing in it.
oh, come on.
It had too much. Listen, in Enchanted, the singing made sense. And there were scenes where it was just like, okay, you can't be singing in this instance. We're not going to do that here. Whereas in Disenchanted, they took the songs one too far.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Let me ask you this, John. You brought up the whole evil witch thing, right?
Yes.
If they would have taken that song completely out of the movie and instead just had them battling with magic a little bit, would you have been fine with that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
you.
actually would.
Yeah. Okay, if they would have taken the song where not when Morgan was singing but the song that she was trying to sing when she did the wish, if they would have taken that song out of the movie, that would have been fine as well. And there are a lot of, like, Idina Menzel is Idina Menzel, and Idina Menzel gets a
Right.
great song in this movie, right? But
Yes.
this movie was probably one or two songs too much, especially with the Queens and their song, like talking about how I'm bad, you're bad, I'm badder. They could have taken that song completely out of the
Yeah.
movie, and I don't think anybody would have missed it, because it would have just been like, oh, okay, and then you could have just moved on. But that's what I mean. Sometimes it doesn't take a lot for there to be too much singing, but it
Okay.
felt like this movie wanted to be a full-on musical, and it's fine if it wanted to be a full-on musical. The thing is, if you want to be a full-on musical, you need to come with the numbers. And there was another thing that annoyed me about this movie. I don't think if you recognized it, but this movie stole a whole bunch of sounds from Beauty and the Beast, where I was like, if it wasn't a Disney movie, they would have been
yeah, they
sued
did.
so badly.
Oh yeah, be our guest. Oh
Yeah,
the scene
you-
where, like,
yeah.
be our guest.
You heard it too.
Dang!
You heard it too, right?
I heard it too, but I was like, no, they're just paying an homage, man. They were just paying an homage.
If it were,
I mean, come on.
if this was not a Disney movie, they would have been sued. There would have been like lawsuit immediately. This movie is never coming out.
That's true.
And
Yeah,
during
that's kinda true.
during Idina Menzel's song, like when she's doing like the Love Power, which is actually a good song. That's a very good song. I actually
Yes,
like that song.
it is.
The problem is the tone in that song. You know the do
Yeah.
you know where that sound is from? That's also from Beauty and the Beast when you're talking about the rose for the beast. Remember?
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Kind of makes you look at the movie a
Oh,
little bit differently, doesn't it?
yeah, it kind of does, but it hurts. It so hurts.
Yeah, and I
I
mean,
think I think I think I think I maybe had I think I wasn't paying attention, and maybe nostalgia berry just hopped into my meal.
yeah, and but
Ah,
it's when the problem is when you hear it and when somebody tells you about it, you can't unhear it,
no.
right? And I caught it immediately. And I was like, "Wait, is that Be Our Guest from Beauty and the Beast?" And after that, cuz I think that was the most that was the most egregious one,
Well,
right?
wait. You're telling me the talking kitchenware and everything that didn't also scream out to you, Beauty and the
No,
Beast?
that screamed out Beauty and the Beast, and I was like, okay, this is a fairy tale having talking silverware and stuff like that. That makes sense. It was when they
Well, it kind of
stole.
speak.
It was when they literally stole the "Be Our Guest, Be Our Guest." And I was like, oh my
Okay,
god,
wait, but you know what I thought of when they had the talking utensils and stuff in
what?
the kitchenware? The little toaster,
The brave little toaster?
a brave little toaster. And
I mean,
and I at that point I thought they were paying homage to that, and I kind of cried a little bit because I was
I don't. What?
that's a
I
very
don't.
touching
Was the
movie for
brave
me.
little toaster even a Disney movie?
I always thought it was.
I didn't think. Hold on. John, talk about something else that you love while I look this up. Talk about something you liked from the movie.
Oh man. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have the top five things John loved from Disenchanted. Number five, I totally love the new character, like all the characters that they brought back. My little square friend, oh man, yes, I love that. I like that they brought back. Can't get his name, but Squirrel. It was just awesome, and how they in the beginning bringing him back into the character with him being the narrator of the whole story. Ah man, I was just like yes. Also, number four, I very took a shining to a fairy tale version of the husband dressed in, kind of acting like a hero, fighting dragons, but failing at it. Oh, that was hilarious. That was kind of hilarious. Number three was how the cast was of the whole movie was also a lot of Broadway stars. Like they had the genie from the Broadway Aladdin.
I caught
I was
that.
very
I caught that. That was great. But go on. Yeah, that's a great point. That's a great point.
come on, man. That's number two, and well, I'm on three or two now.
Three.
Okay, good, three. Awesome, awesome that they had that in the movie. It was like you could see if you don't know some of the Broadway actors, it's okay. You're gonna know about them because you're gonna see them on Broadway and eventually. But yes, I really liked how they included a lot of Broadway actors from other Disney shows on Broadway. Like they had also one person that they had was the not just the Aladdin, Genie from Aladdin, but some dancers from like Lion King was also in this. I saw a couple. And yes, number two, how they transformed uh it really blew me. Like really blew me away. So when Belle makes this wish, she's literally stealing magic from Eldastasia, and I'm butchering the name. Please forgive me. And the reason why I make this number two because every time the clock strikes around strikes a toll of a new hour, all of a sudden she becomes um, she gains more of a characteristic of an evil stepmother. That I gotta say, okay, I compare that the levels to actually becoming evil in general. So number two, I like that. Now I put that at number two. But the number one, and I do mean number one, the number one thing that I liked in that movie, which was it almost didn't grab me, but I had to watch it again to catch it. The whole transfer was the whole wishing tree. That I gotta say was really the heart stopper for me because the like Belle's wishing tree and I'm like, but wait, I mean not wishing tree, but memory tree, Belle's memory tree, and I'm like, but I gotta say because it confused. The reason why I made number one because it confused me. At first, I'm thinking the memory tree was the house. No, the memory tree was behind the house, and I was like, then why does the house pop up instead of the tree? I'm lost. I was just totally lost. That's why I labeled that at number one, and that is John's top five favorite parts of the movie.
All right, John. Thank you for that. And I did look it up. You were right. Brave Little Toaster did come out from Disney. It came out through Buena Vista. So, it came out through the Disney subsidiary. That's why it didn't come out under the official Disney title, but it was Disney. So, yeah, you're right in that. But,
Okay.
yeah, so, I mean, to get back to it, as John already said, there were a lot of Broadway actors in there, who could really sing and really show off their pipes or their dancing ability. I'm not sure if you
Yes.
noticed it, but there was during one scene where they literally did a recreation of The Little Mermaid, where Morgan was
Oh
sitting
yeah.
down on the thing and then they had water splash up behind her. And I was like, why are we doing a Little Mermaid scene here? Okay, fine, whatever. We're just going with it. Um, I I I want to try and bring more good things from this movie. I just can't. Like when they were doing the magic battle, it resembled Harry Potter.
Yeah.
That was just like what? All Belle could do, all
Uh,
Giselle could do was, oh, I'm gonna turn things into butterflies, wrap them up, wrap them up, blow something
yeah,
up.
yeah, yeah.
That's
You're right.
it was
Yeah,
it was very
yeah.
it was
It was Harry Potterish.
it was Harry Potterish and it was a little boring. I love Maya Rudolph and I still love Maya Rudolph. It's just they did not give Maya Rudolph a lot to do except to sing and try and be the evil queen.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's just I wish there was more story here. I'm a person that loves story. I wish there was more of
Yeah,
it.
you do.
You know what song absolutely could have disappeared and nobody would have cared? When
Oh, I want to
Giselle
hear
is
this.
close to death and Giselle is singing to Morgan, Giselle could have just said those things.
Wait,
Giselle could have just said
really?
those things and they would have. And you know why it would have had more of an impact? Because Giselle would have
Okay.
been communicating to Morgan in our world instead of having to rely on hers. Because that's the whole problem of the movie. Giselle just keeps with her mindset and doesn't really adapt and change and stuff like that to our world. She just tries to change our world into being hers.
I actually agree with you on that note.
You know, Giselle is like the American that goes to a foreign country, lives there for 15 years, and yet demands everybody speak English instead of speaking that language.
All right.
That is the character of Giselle in this movie. I don't want to
Yeah.
say that, but that is her, because when she wishes like, "Oh, I just wish everything was like a fairy tale." She took technology out of the way. Nobody had any
Hmm.
cars, no cell phones.
Nope.
They were driving
I
around in
like.
horse carriages.
True.
I was mad. I was like, did Giselle just destroy modern life as I know it?
I mean, in a way, I kind of wish I had made my top five or top six because I just remembered one thing: the scene where the little squirrel is sliding down is like, oh man, those twigs was doing not too much well on my sciatica. And then he was like, she's like, Pip, she's like to the squirrel, calls out his name, he's like, wait, we got magic?
Hey, I mean, listen, I just
That was iconically hilarious to me.
I thought it was funny when they got at the end of the movie when they get her a wishing plate where she could get any food, and they're like, "We think it's just
Oh
food. We do not think there's anything else you can do with this." And they are all looking at Giselle. Nobody's looking at Patrick Dempsey. They're all looking at Amy Adams' character like, "You messed up big. We got to make sure
yeah,
you
you
aren't
did.
doing any crazy stuff." Cuz
Yeah, no crazy stuff. No, we don't trust you with the wand. We'll leave it for the little girl, but we will not trust you with a wand.
yeah, we're not going to trust you with no, she might wish for cookies. You're going to wish for like
Yeah,
world altering things. I was just like, wow, that is wild. That's
yeah.
and it just, oh man, it was just so average. The movie was just so average, cuz every good thing I liked about this movie was just taken away by all the things that didn't need to be in this movie. You know, like Patrick Dempsey's character went through like that weird little side arc of like rediscovering his family and all that stuff. Then at the
Hmm.
end of the movie, they're like, "Oh, he gets a practice in the city and he doesn't need to go to New York." I'm like, "How does he afford his home? How does he afford his home being a small town lawyer, even in upstate New York?" Or it was, I mean, was it upstate New York? I feel like it wasn't upstate New York because they said, because it was past Poughkeepsie.
Yeah.
It was past Poughkeepsie. So is that still upstate New York or is that more in
That
Connecticut?
no, that is actually still up in New York.
All right, so maybe they were up near like Buffalo or something like that. You
Yeah,
know,
close
it was just,
enough.
and I mean, this movie, it
Excuse me.
had a lot of side characters. Like Yvette Nicole Brown's character was fun. Uh,
Hmm.
it had a lot of kind of interesting side plots. You know what? I'm gonna say this. This was a movie that should have been a limited series TV show.
Oh, come on.
This if they had a little
No,
bit if they had a
no.
little bit more time, maybe they could have done something with it. It just felt a little bit too packed, a little bit too many songs, a little bit too much everything, and not enough actual like talking or reflecting or wondering why, Amy Adams' character is clearly being the colonizer here. But, we're not going to talk about that. We're not going to mention that anymore.
Yeah,
We're just going to roll with it. Uh, you know, I just,
yeah.
like I said, I walked away
Let's just
from that
roll with it.
movie. I wasn't angry.
Right.
I wasn't mad, which is good. I just wasn't like, "Oh, I'm gonna watch this movie again." Like,
I mean, I'd actually watch it again.
if you gave me Disenchanted or the first Enchanted, I'm going to watch the first Enchanted.
Okay.
If you gave me
Okay.
Disenchanted or Black Adam, I'm going to watch Black Adam again. And I know that might be a little bit unfair, but you and I both know we would take Black Adam over watching Disenchanted a second time.
Yeah. I, I mean, yeah, you went there.
Yeah. And I I would watch Hocus Pocus 2 over Disenchanted.
Oh no,
Yep.
no,
Yep. Listen,
no.
so you'd rather take Disenchanted over Hocus
I'd
Pocus
watch
2?
Disenchanted over Hocus Pocus too.
Listen, there were a lot of I had my problems with Hocus Pocus 2, but it only had one song. This had 15, it felt like. I felt like I could go along with it. I felt like the humor was a little bit more consistent.
Yes, very consistent. The humor was on point.
But okay. So, I mean, like I said, Disenchanted, I will say this. If I watched this in the movie theaters, I would be furious. If I spent money on this, like if I'd spent a $20 movie ticket here in New York to watch Disenchanted, I think me and you would both walk out of there with very different feelings.
Okay.
So I think this movie is perfect for Disney Plus.
Yes.
Because if you'd have paid $20 full price, gone at like 8 o'clock at night to watch Disenchanted and walked out of there, would you have just been like, yeah? It would have just been silence. It would have just been like, we better be going to get some food because I just blew $20 on this. I just blew $40 on this plus tax. We better be getting some good food.
I mean, with a movie like Disenchanted, I would be like, I just Alamo. I wouldn't go to a regular theater. I just Alamo it. You know,
True. True.
I would just Alamo it. So technically, I wouldn't be leaving the theater sad or anything. I'd actually be leaving the theater the same way I am right now. I was like, yes, that was a good movie. Had food. All right.
But if you took the food away, how would you feel about the movie?
Ooh. Yeah, I probably would be seeing a different tune than you are.
Like I'm just
Like
saying,
way more.
I'm just saying, I had more fun watching the next season of Leverage Redemption than I did watching Disenchanted.
Actually, in a way, like watching Disenchanted, it kind of felt like when you said the whole like they could have made it into a series. This is why I agree because you remember the movie High School Musical?
Yes, I remember the High School Musical series. Like, I'm not that young.
I mean, nope. When they turned into an actual series like TV show series, I was like, yeah, too much singing in this. So for you to say that in Disenchanted could have been broken down into a series, I said no, 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 and no, no. Matter of fact, I'm going to invoke this. No, 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 no. Boom.
Okay, you know what? You got me on that one. You absolutely got me on that one. I haven't seen a single episode of High School Musical, the series. So, you know what? If it's anything like Glee, then yeah, it probably is one too many songs per episode. just one. And yeah, okay, yeah, you got me. You got me.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
perfect as a movie.
Yes,
But
thank
it's
you.
not a perfect movie. It's
Ah,
it's perfect as a movie, but Disenchanted is not a perfect movie. I think we can both agree on that.
yes, we can both agree on that.
You know.
I mean, in a way, and this is just how I feel after watching it. I actually watched it twice. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I watched twice. In a way, I kind of feel I wouldn't bad if we did maybe another one down the years,
No, we don't need
just
to
with our
do.
critiques.
We don't need to do another Disenchanted movie. They did Enchanted. Now they're going to do Disenchanted. Now what? What's the third movie going to be? Re-Enchanted? Oh God! I just gave you the
Ooh,
title. No, we're not
yes,
doing it.
yes,
We are not
yes. Let's do
doing.
it. Let's do it.
No, no,
Ladies and gentlemen, this is brought to you early review, early notice.
no. We are
We are
not.
doing
If they
Re-Enchanted.
if if they do a Re-Enchanted, you are just going to hear my soul reverberate throughout the world, screaming in terror as to what is to come. All right, listen. And on that soul wrenching note, John,
Am
tell
I
people where.
laughing?
Nope. Tell people where to find you, because you're about to hear it on this play. Nope. Tell people where to find you. You better tell them.
Oh, okay, okay. So you can find me eating at a nice, very interesting restaurant, enjoying the food, and getting possibly doing my best not to get any remember berries because I am a 20-day clean of remember berries. 20 days clean. Feels good. Feels good. 20 days. I'm going to keep this up. And you can find me on my journey at Fat Man Loves Anime NYC 21. Yes, on Instagram. Fat Man Loves Anime NYC 21. Feel free to DM me if you have any comments on the restaurants that I have visited, or you have a restaurant that you want me to visit. We can go there together. Yeah.
All right, John. So, as I normally say, if you want to find me personally, don't. But if you do want to reach out to us in the podcast or you want to talk about anything, there are several ways you could do that. You can reach out to us on Instagram at Two Sides of a Coin. You can reach out to us in email at Two Sides Podcast. That is TWOSIDEZ podcast, all one word, at gmail.com. You can find us on the rapidly imploding Twitter at Two Sides Coin. Yeah, that situation is weird, but as long as it's up, you can find us there. And if it isn't, send us an email or find us on Instagram, you know, and we'll gladly reach out, have a discourse or anything like that. And I hope everybody stays safe. I hope you are able to find whatever you need to find out there in the world. And I hope they do not come out with a Re-Enchanted movie, even though that is a bomb title.